The U.S. has issued a travel advisory, do not go to Nigeria. U.S. orders staff to leave Nigeria embassy and lists 23 states as do not travel. So the U.S. Department of State has
a big problem that people of this world should come together and help Nigeria.
If a country quietly starts pulling its people out, you should probably ask why. That's the situation right now, as the United States has authorized non-essential embassy staff and their families to leave Abuja. Which brings us to the big question: what is really going on?
It was a terrible battle in Benishek. Now, if you don't know where Benishek is just before you enter Maiduguri. It's just before you enter Maiduguri. Benishek, just before you enter Maiduguri. It was not a small battle. A brigadier general was killed.
U.S. government orders embassy staff to leave Nigeria over insecurity issues.
Guys, there is fire on the mountain for Nigerians. Currently, the U.S. government have ordered its staffs in the U.S. Embassy in Abuja to evacuate Nigeria with their families with immediate effect. According to them, they said Nigeria is a country of concern, and due to insecurity that is going on in Nigeria, they asked them to evacuate. And recently, the General Brigadier of Nigeria was just unalived by Boko Haram, by bandits in Nigeria. Just imagine the General Brigadier of the armed forces unalived by bandits. If it can be unalived by bandits, what happened to the people? Oh my God, let's take a look at the video. Some Nigeria need urgent attention. As I'm talking to you right now, that country needs urgent attention.
The U.S. has issued a travel advisory, do not go to Nigeria. U.S. orders staff to leave Nigeria embassy and lists 23 states as do not travel. So the U.S. Department of State has authorized non-emergency U.S. government employees and their family members to leave the U.S. embassy in Abuja, citing a deteriorating security situation across Nigeria. In an update travel advisory issued on Wednesday, the department noted that starting April 8th, 2026, Americans are advised to reconsider travel to the country due to crime, terrorism, kidnapping, and civil unrest. The advisory classified the overall travel advisory for Nigeria as level 3, reconsider travel. That's what level 3 means, reconsider travel, while some states are at a level 4, do not travel. A level 4, do not travel. Don't go to Nigeria. If you're a U.S. citizen, do not go to Nigeria. If you're a lineage, heritage American. All right, the department also added Plateau, Jigawa, Kawara, Niger, and Taraba state to the list of do not travel areas. My apologies, these African news websites be glitching, but it goes on to say reconsider travel to Nigeria due to crime, terrorism, unrest, kidnapping, and inconsistent availability of healthcare services. That's serious because, you know, they have malaria out there. You need some healthcare services or you could die. Some areas have increased risk, it added. So yeah, do not, even though it's a level 3 overall, do not.
You see, there is a problem. There is a big problem that people of this world should come together and help Nigeria. I know that at the end of this video, they'll be in my DMs, they'll be in my comment section, they'll insult me, they will attack me, they would say all sort of hateful words at me. But if you don't sell your condition, if you don't sell your ailment, you'll never get treatment. The problem of Nigeria is endless. And it is important for them to have a major national discussion about how other countries will be able to sit down and have Nigerians as part of their discussion in a positive way. They fail to save the country in terms of their security. They fail to actually even get investors to have interest in investing in Nigeria. They have failed the whole nation. And it might be leadership problem. And if it is leadership problem, we would only wish that the youth of Nigeria, the pastors, the celebrities of Nigeria, the activists, those people who call themselves activists of Nigeria, both people in the diaspora and people living in Nigeria will collectively Listen, collectively seek for help. I'm not joking. Regardless of how I come on the internet and I talk about Nigeria, this is an important message. Every other person who have got friends, families living in Nigeria, who have got businesses in Nigeria, we should all come together to help that country called Nigeria.
If a country quietly starts pulling its people out, you should probably ask why. That's the situation right now, as the United States has authorized non-essential embassy staff and their families to leave Abuja. Which brings us to the big question. What is really going on? And how serious is it? April 8, 2026, the U.S. Department of State placed Nigeria on a level 3 reconsider travel list, citing rising concerns around crime, terrorism, kidnapping, and civil unrest. Even more striking, parts of the country were elevated to level 4, do not travel, the highest warning level. So, what is really going on? Across several states, the concerns are layered. In the north, Borno, Jigawa, Kogi, Kwara, Niger, Plateau, Taraba, Yobe, and northern Adamawa states are flagged due to terrorism, crime, and kidnapping. The advisory also listed Bauchi, Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, and Zamfara states, citing unrest, crime, and kidnapping. But it's not just a northern issue. In the south and southeast states like Abia, Anambra, Bayelsa, Delta, Enugu, Imo, and Rivers State, excluding Port Harcourt, were also listed, largely due to kidnapping, violent protest, and criminal activity. Now, according to the advisory, these threats aren't isolated. They are widespread and unpredictable. And here's where it gets even more serious. The United States says violent crimes like armed robbery, carjacking, and kidnapping for ransom are common, and foreigners, especially Americans, are often seen as high-value targets. Add that to warnings about possible terrorist attacks in public spaces like markets, malls, and places of worship, and then you begin to see why this decision was made. There's also another layer people don't talk about enough, and that is healthcare.
It was a terrible battle in Benishek. Now, if you don't know where Benishek is just before you enter Maiduguri. It's just before you enter Maiduguri. Benishek, just before you enter Maiduguri. It was not a small battle. A brigadier general was killed. If you don't know who a brigadier general is, this is somebody that commands up to 2,000 or more armies. He commands 2,000 battalion and more. That is somebody that was unalive. A brigadier general. Do you know what it means for a terrorist to kill a brigadier general? It's now time for the politics to stop. It's time for the politics to stop. This is alarming. This is alarming for a brigadier general that command 2,000 or more battalion unalive. This is not the first time. And if a brigadier general is life is taken, all will come out to say is you condemn. This is not a joke anymore. I'm scared for this country. I am scared for this country. I'm scared. It's only God that will protect our country, Nigeria. The US Embassy shut down operation in Abuja. I'll read it for you in case you don't know. It's a news. It's not me. This is a breaking news. There were no changes to travel advisory, level, or risk. These are emails that were sent. Risk indicators. Advisory summary was updated to reflect changes to US Embassy operations. Do not travel to Plateau, Jigawa, Kwara, Niger, Taraba State were added. Travel advisory, Nigeria. Level 3, reconsider travel. C, crime. T, terrorism. U, unrest. K, kidnapping. Health. H, health. Reconsider travel to Nigeria due to crime, terrorism, unrest, kidnapping, and inconsistent availability of health care services. Some areas have increased risk. Read the entire. Do not travel to Borno, Jigawa, Kogi, Kwara, Niger, Plateau, Taraba, Yobe, Northern Adamawa State due to terrorism, crime, and kidnapping. Bauchi, Gombe, Kaduna, Kano, Katsina, Sokoto, Zamfara states due to unrest, crime, and kidnapping. Abia, Anambra, Bayelsa, Delta, Enugu, Imo, and Rivers State, with the exception of Port Harcourt, due to crime, kidnapping, and unrest. Advisory summary. Listen. On April 8, 2026, the Department of State authorized non-emergency U.S. government employees and U.S. government employee family members to leave U.S. Embassy Abuja due to deteriorating security situation. Now, they did not say that anything is going to happen in Abuja. They only said that the security is deteriorating, so they want to move non-essential staff out and non-emergency U.S. government employees and the families out. They did not say anything is happening. They only said they are moving the non-essential and the family out due to the deteriorating. When you say deteriorating, that means the security is going down, according to them. Crime and kidnapping. Violent crime is common throughout Nigeria. This includes armed robbery, assault, carjacking, kidnapping, hostage taking, roadside banditry and blah blah blah. Now the security in Nigeria, in Abuja, have they said this is not true, that the security in Abuja is intact. According to them, that is intact in Abuja, that there's nothing like that.
So American government is telling all Americans in Nigeria to be very careful. Now, information says they don't even close embassy in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria. The government of America is telling them that if they don't have anything necessary to do in Nigeria, they should not come. In fact, they are evacuating some Americans. So if you had your visa interview scheduled to be in Abuja, just forget it, because they've shut down and they are now, many of them have now left the country because of insecurity. They label a lot of things. Say Nigeria is not safe, we don't have good hospitals and all that. We are labeled in tier 3 in the insecurity index, and you know what that one mean? If Trump is telling his people to come back home, if you wake up one day, Trump will throw bazooka for now. And before you know, voila, don't shell it. You people are taking this thing with levity. The Nigerian government is not taking this thing serious. It's beyond the withdrawal. America is very strategic in their thinking and in their doings. So this one of the things say that joke. Trump is telling his people to come back home. What that means is that any day, Trump will strike. And the government is busy campaigning for city girls, city boys, 2027, when you are not even working for 2026 that you have been voted to work. What are they play?